So this morning I was looking and reading, and I saw the most stupidest article out of some of the other crazy articles that I've seen. Some Texas schools may call slavery involuntary relocation. I think that is totally ridiculous, and that is a slap in the face to all black people that someone would do this. Texas is a hot mess right now. They're not the only state. They actually are in favor of Roe versus Wade. I mean, if I was there, I would hurry up and get out. Get out while you can. So Austin, Texas, Associated Press. Okay, so the public school in Texas would describe slavery as to second graders involuntary relocation under new social study standards proposed to the state's education board. A group of 9 educators submitted the idea to the State Board of Education as part of Texas' effort to develop new social studies curriculum, according to the Texas Tribune. So once a decade, process updates that what children learn in the state's nearly 8,900 public schools. So the board is considering curriculum changes 1 year after Texas passed a law to eliminate topics from the schools that make children feel discomfort. Okay, so the board member, Acha Davis, a Democrat who represents Dallas-Fort Worth, raised concerns during the June 15th meeting that the term wasn't fair representation of the slave trade, which is true. It isn't, because slavery is slavery. Slavery is a sin of this whole nation that has happened many, many decades ago, but it affects us even today. It affects the great, 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 great grand people who are now still feeling the brunt of what happened so many, many decades ago. And then there's some things that weren't that long ago that continue to happen even beyond slavery. And still today, people are feeling pain. That has never gone away. It's never been resolved. It is murder. It's rape. It's kidnapping. It is kidnapping. It is stealing culture. It is stealing people from their homes. It's displacement of culture, displacement of people's lives. It's destroying families. It has robbed our culture. It has taken away people's languages, taken away people's names, taken people away from their homes, basically ripped people away and made the quality of their life disastrous and volatile. And till this day, you have people who don't really know where they can trace their roots. And so you had all these people trying to go through, all of these genealogy testing. You have all these people that market these little kits so you can trace your roots, and they don't really know if they're really getting the correct information. And so you might not be getting all of the correct information. So if you have most people doing that, then that is sad. But slavery is slavery. It is not involuntary relocation. It is kidnapping, murder, rape, pillaging, destroying people's lives. You destroyed a whole culture. You destroyed what you see right now. You destroyed black people's culture and you robbed them of their freedoms. And you're still doing it today. There has been so many lynchings in this country that you have not even talked about. Nobody's been held accountable for those murders. And you want to do this? You are dead wrong. So the board sent a draft back getting back to this article for a revision, urging the educators group to carefully examine the language used to describe events, because this is not relocation. Relocation is when, let's say, if you're in, and I'm using this merely as an example, involuntary relocation. Let's say you're in your apartment and something happens, there's flooding, and so you want it to get fixed. So you don't really want to leave because all your stuff is here, but you're disgruntled and you're upset because there's all this water on your floor and your apartment has flooded. And so now you got to be put in a hotel. It's uncomfortable, it's smelly, you're in a bed that's not yours. You're involuntary relocated. And but nobody's beating you, nobody's raping you, nobody's telling you to change your name. They're just saying you're gonna be gone away from your apartment and your belongings for probably like 6 months. It's very frustrating, it's annoying, it's angering, but you still have your freedoms, you still have your name, you still know where your family is. You know who your mom and dad is, you know, but you're just in a place that you don't want to live at for about 6 months, and it's a pain in the ass. You involuntarily relocate. Okay, that's what that means. But when you are raped and you're beaten and you're ripped away from your families and you're told not to speak and you're told not to talk in your language and you're stripped down naked and you're looked at like you're a piece of meat on a chopping block and you're treated like an animal, and then you're told you can only eat this and you can only wear this and you have to walk here and you can't go there and you can't practice this language and you can't talk to these people and you have to do this work on this farm and you have to go to sleep at this time and wake up at this time, and then you have to go to the bathroom when they say so, and then you have women getting raped and you probably got men getting raped, and then you have people being sent to this place around people they've never seen before, and then you leave your mom and your sisters and everybody that you knew, and you're told not to even look back, and then you don't know where you're at. You're just supposed to listen. You're supposed to do the work that they tell you to do. That's a different situation. You've been kidnapped. You're kidnapped. You're raped. You're beaten. Your whole life, your culture's been robbed of you. You're not involuntarily relocated. There's a difference. There's a crimes that are being committed against you and your people. There is a huge difference. So part of the proposed draft standards obtained by the Texas Tribune say students should compare journeys to America, including involuntary Irish immigration, involuntary relocation of African people during the colonial time. See, they're watering things down because they basically don't want kids to know what happened. They want you to be stupid. So Texas public education system has become heavily politicized in the recent years, with lawmakers passing legislation to dictate how race and slavery should be taught in schools, and conservative groups pouring large amounts of money into school board races, okay, because of the CRT. They're all revved up, critical race theory. So this is where a lot of this is started, because basically you had people that wanted to be honest and tell the truth about what has happened and what is going on today, and allow children to know firsthand what is going on. But then you've got these other people on the other side that are supposed to be political conservative pundits saying, oh, that's going to bruise our child's or his way of thinking about himself. He's gonna think that he's the cause of this, and he's gonna think that we're bad people and that we caused all of these people's lives to be miserable, and we can't do that. We can't we can't make them feel uncomfortable. Although we're living in a world that is uncomfortable. We see all the school shootings. We see all of the craziness that's going on in politics. You're not shielding them from this. you're making it worse by making these type of laws. So Texas drew attention for a similar situation in 2015 when the student noticed wording in the textbook that referred to slaves who were brought to America as workers. Let me read that again. They drew attention, this was in 2015, when a student noticed the wording in the textbook that referred to slaves who were brought to America as workers. Just a full on lie, a flat out lie. So the book publisher apologized and promised to increase the number of textbook reviewers and uses. Okay. And so I don't know if this is the whole entire article, but I'm going to stop right here. This is a total slap in the face to all black people. Any state that does this type of shit right here, excuse my language, I had to say it. I mean, I could not avoid. This is disgusting. It's not only disgusting, it's so enraging that anybody that does something like this, you are trying to make it look like slavery didn't even exist. Like it never happened. That's what you're trying to do. And you're trying to make these kids so unaware of what has happened that this world's going to be so screwed up. And here you got all this stuff happening on the news with voting rights, abortion rights being taken away, women's rights, a lot of things that are happening, gay people's rights, the abuse of women as if it's something supposed to be casual, and catapulting somebody to a high seat back in the days, and name you, who now they can make all these decisions and push these crazy beliefs forward, these bills, these laws into action. This is disgusting, totally disgusting. But yeah, I'm not surprised that Texas was doing this, because it's who you got in there, who you've elected in those seats. That's the problem. It's not the state, it's the people. That's who it is. Who you have in those seats has everything to do with why they make these crazy ass decisions. But anyway, letting this go, but that is a slap in the face, a total slap in the face.